Okay, so this passage has 3 whole passage questions to start us off, meaning 3 questions that we are supposed to skip and save until the end, whether we read the passage or not, because we should really save any main idea questions for the end when we've learned more about the passage from the other questions and have a better sense of what it's about. So numbers 4 and 5 are, for most people, going to be the first questions that they can do. And even number 4 at first looks like another question we might have to skip because there's no line reference, but if we then go to number 5, we see actually this is an evidence pair, so we can answer these questions. And when we do that, we always want to follow the QLC method, and we want to make sure we have a good sense of what we're looking for in the lines, then what the lines say, and then we can match them with the choices. So let's first read the question and make sure we know what we're looking for. It can be most reasonably inferred from the passage that old widow Lau's reluctance to stay for tea is. Okay, well, that's the thing. We've got to make sure we're talking about the right person, and we need some sort of evidence of reluctance. So let's go to the line references now, the L part, and see if we can find any choices that match with that. So lines 1 through 4 is from here to here. At last, old widow Lau was done haggling with the driver, and we stepped inside father's shop. It was north-facing, quite dim inside, and perhaps this was why father did not see us at first. That seems just kind of like random description of the shop. So I don't see anything about reluctance. They do mention the right person, but I don't see anything about tea. It just seems kind of random, and because I don't have any matching ideas, I feel pretty confident crossing this out. Let's look at B, 11 through 15. So that is here. And he squinted at me, then laughed and announced our arrival to little uncle, who apologized many times for not rushing over sooner to greet us. They rushed us to be seated at one of 2 tea tables for customers. 2 tea tables, hard to say. So yeah, it's about tea. I get that. That's good. I don't really see anything specific about old widow Lau, also hard to say, and nothing about reluctance. So I might need to do some work to make this choice fit. And I shouldn't have to. Evidence should be evidence, and the lines themselves should do the work for me. So I'd be pretty confident that this does not have enough of what it needs to be the right answer. So let's keep going. Let's look at C, 15 to 18. And that is here. It says, old widow Lau refused their invitations 3 times, exclaiming that my father and uncles must be too busy for visitors. She made weak efforts to leave. Okay, well, there's certain things that match, so it's definitely talking about old widow Lau, the right person. It doesn't say tea explicitly, but remember, I just read that they were talking about tea in the previous sentence, so that actually does help me understand what I'm reading about here. Sometimes the wrong line references still provide valuable information. So we get the context. They're talking about the tea. She's refusing their invitation, so there's some element of reluctance, and maybe the father and uncle are too busy, but she made weak efforts to leave. So there's some sort of like not wanting to drink the tea. So I don't need to understand it beyond that right now. I just need to know that it kind of matches with this idea of reluctance. I'll figure out the specifics later. But for now, this is checking a lot of boxes. It's probably my answer. But let's look at D to be safe. 19 to 21. That's right here. Then little uncle brought us hot tea and sweet oranges, as well as bamboo latticework fans with which to cool ourselves. Okay, nothing about reluctance, nothing about the widow. No. So a lot of times when I do these questions, these evidence pairs, you'll see me end up with multiple answers that I'm considering for the evidence lines, right? So that's okay. That's part of the process. That's actually more normal. It's rare that I end up crossing everything out and getting down to the one answer at this stage. When it happens, that's great, but you always want to keep an open mind. It's possible we're wrong, but right now I feel pretty good going into number 4 that this line reference is the thing to match. So let's look at the choices for number 4 and see what lines up here. So A, feigned because she is not genuinely firm in her resolve. Well, it does say it was, where is it here? Weak efforts to leave. So she's not firm because she's weak in whether or not she wants to leave. Maybe for some of us the word feigned is a tough vocab word. So it means like faked. So maybe that's tricky, but I think we could have gotten that meaning from that choice without knowing the word, right? The rest of the choice kind of also says the same thing. So it seems like it matches. Let's keep looking. B, it's inconsiderate because the family has been planning her visit. No, It doesn't say anything about them planning anything. Inconsiderate, maybe you think so, but I don't care about your opinion. The passage doesn't care about your opinion. So we need evidence in the lines, and there's certainly no evidence that they made a big effort to plan this visit. So I don't agree with that. Appropriate because the shop is unusually busy. Well, okay. It does sound like there's a match there. That they're too busy and unusually busy. Well, if you're good at the SAT, you would actually notice that those ideas don't match correctly. So it's one thing for them to be too busy at this particular moment. But it's another thing for the choice to say that that is unusual for them to be busy, right? We don't know what the current circumstances are like compared to what things are usually like. That comparison isn't being made here. And unusually is a comparison word. It's saying that things now are different than they usually are. We're not really getting that from these lines. Plus, there's other things going on. And this is what happens with the literature passage sometimes. Characters in literature passages are human beings, like us, like the real people. They're fake, but they behave a lot of times like real people do. And real people lie. They joke. They say one thing and then they mean another thing. And that's kind of what's happening here. They're not actually busy. Old Widow Lau is kind of saying that and using that as her excuse, but it's a fake excuse. And we know that it's fake because the rest of that line reference says that she's making weak efforts to leave, and she ends up kind of staying, right? If we see the next line, on the fourth insistence, we finally sat. So she's just saying stuff. She's just kind of being like a nice like old lady who doesn't want to offend and doesn't want anyone to trouble over her. But no, like it's a fake thing. So you might be stuck between A and C, but hopefully I've shown you that that's wrong. Let's look at D, though, just to be sure. Ill-advised because she exhausted from the journey. Well, that's much easier to get rid of. It's nothing about her being exhausted. So maybe you're between A and C. A is definitely the better one because it has strong words that we can prove. Things like feigned, things like not genuinely firm, it matches with it's a weak effort to leave. So the more matches, the better. But also be careful. Sometimes something looks like it's going to match, like that word unusually busy, but there's subtle things. And I think that those subtle things are easier to notice when we're down to those two choices than when we're trying to do this whole paired question all at once and juggling a million things. So that's why we're always narrowing our focus to fewer things, single words, single phrases, to hope that we can notice things that the SAT is trying to get by us without us noticing. So narrow your focus and look for strong words, and suddenly this one isn't so bad.